If you've been waiting for home prices to drop further before making an offer, your window of opportunity might have been officially closed. July sales numbers are in, and while sales held around 6,000, new inventory dropped by nearly 18,000, and active listings by 12%. Similar demand and less supply. Buyers are suddenly fighting over fewer available properties, and seller flexibility is shrinking by the week. In this video, I'm showing you where prices are stabilizing, which micro markets favor buyers, and how to position your offers as we approach the fall market. Okay, so we'll start at the high level, looking at the GTA, then we'll dive down into the City of Toronto data only. As a reminder, the Toronto Real Estate Board covers a wide region, as you can see in the map here, as far as Burlington on the west side to Clarington on the east, and then up to the lake up north. For the month of July, the sales were pretty much flat. So if we look at July to July, you'll see pretty much around 6,000, and then last July was slightly over 6,000. So minimal change, if any, with respect to the sales. The two numbers to take a look at is the lack of new supply and lack of active listings compared to last July of 2025. So these are the two important figures there that, as you can see, the new listings, the new supply dropped by nearly 18% compared to last July of 2025. And then active listings, so these are the properties on the market for sale currently during that month, dropped by 12.1%. Now, you would think with less supply and similar demand that prices will go up or stabilize. But that was not the case. The price actually dropped by 4.5%. Now, we got to be cautious here because this covers a large region in the greater Toronto area. And it's good to break down the real estate because it is local and it really varies from micro market to another. So even within the city, houses versus condos behave completely differently. The other things to take into account, you'll see that the listings day on market went up slightly from 30 to 32 days. And then the overall property days on market went up by 5 days from 40 to 45 days. On a high level, I like to take a look at the data and see how does that compare to the last 10 years. So it's pretty much a tale of two halves, pretty much, as you can see in this chart. Since 2022, the average sales, if we take those 5 figures, is around 5,500 sales for the month of July. And then if you look at 2021 and previous to that, the sales were much higher. The average of the 10 years is just around 7,200, and right now we're hovering below that figure. The one thing to note is the last 2 Julys of 2025, 2026, they were close to the 2017 sales of July, which is more normal compared to obviously what happened in 2020 and 2021 and the 2019 year when interest rates were much, much lower. And the whole real estate market was fueled by multiple different factors. So it looks like we're stabilizing around that 6,000 sales in the month of July. And we'll see how that trend plays out moving forward into the future. This is for the greater Toronto area. This is the whole region. And again, if you dive down, you'll see that for the city of Toronto, the 416 sales were flat, comparing the 2 Julys of 2026 versus 2025. Both are around the 2,200 sales for this month. Now, with respect to the breaking down the properties that sold in the city, and again, we'll just take a look at the 416. About 50%, slightly over 50%, is detached, semi-detached, and townhome. And a little bit under 50% is the sales for the condo market. So the condo market weighs heavily when it comes to the average price, and this is why I'm not a big fan of the average price. I prefer to look at median and look at the specific sub-markets when looking at the data. So you can see there, the sales for detached were 691, semis 233, and then slightly over 1,000 for the condos in the city of Toronto. With respect to how does that compare to last July, detached sales were higher by just under 3%, semi-detached under 7, approximately percent, and then condos sales were up by 3.3%. With respect to the price, you'll see the big range of condos around the 672 and then detached in the 1.55 million. The semis fall right in between at 1.1. And with respect to change of last year of July 2025, detached down by 1.5, semis were down nearly 10%, and then condos continue to go down by 1.6%. So overall for the city of Toronto, no, so we're getting lower and lower and more detailed. So we started at the GTA level, a very high level. Now we're coming down to the city of Toronto, the 416 data. Overall, there were 2242 sales. Active listings, there were 9,300, which means 4.15 months. So if we take the 9,310 divided by 2242, that gets 4.15 months. So if no new properties came onto the market, it will take slightly over 4 months to completely sell the 9,300 properties available in the marketplace. On the flip side, the I should say not the flip side, but I mean the property days of market. So how long does it take to sell in the city of Toronto? It's at that 37 days in order to get a sale from the start of the listing. Average price just over 1.01 million with a median of $800,000. With respect to detached, so now again we're breaking into the niche markets of detached, semis, and condos. There were 3.77 months of inventory. So 4 to 6 is months is balanced. Under 4, we get into the seller's market, and then above 6 into buyer's territory. So this is trending towards sellers. And again, with detached, because there's such a wide range in pricing, you can get a detached house for 1.2, 1.1, depending on the location, a bungalow. And then obviously you can go as high as the multiple millions when you get into Rosedale, Forest Hill, and the luxury market. So keep that in mind. Right now, the detached is under 4 months at 3.77 months of inventory, 2,600 active sales with 691 detached houses sold in the city of Toronto. So what does this mean? It means 26 homes out of 100, 26 detached houses sold out of 100. So again, pricing is critical because when you're listing your detached property or any property, you want to be one of those sold. So one out of 4 in this case, detached houses sold in the month of July, and those 3 remaining will carry over into the month of August via price adjustment or gets relisted at a new price. It takes 29 days to sell a detached house in the city. The average is around 1.55 with a median of 1.173. Now, the semi-detached, you'll see detached, there were 691 sales. When it comes to semis, there are less in the city of Toronto. There were 233 sales, 459 active listings, which put the months of inventory. So 459 divided by 233 at just under 2 months, which is seller's territory and highly competitive in certain pockets in the southeast of the city. And that translates into 51 homes out of 100 sold in the month of July with a 24 days on market. Average price is 112 and the median of 980. Now, the condo market, everyone's favorites in the news headlines, that's sitting at, let's call 5 months. So it is in that balanced territory, but there's more to it. You got 5,200 condos listed on the MLS for sale with 1,000 sold. So pretty much that's 20%. So 1 out of 5 condos sold in the city of Toronto with a 37 days on market. Again, keep in mind there are 2 other markets, the assignment markets, which is not on MLS, and then whatever developers have that inventory of finished unsold product that they're pushing to sell with the HST rebate. So there are 2 other markets to take into account, and this is one segment of the condo market right now in the city of Toronto. Average price is 673 with a median of 562. Now, with the condo market, I like to break it down further. So we're getting deeper level into the west and east. So Young to Dufferin, Bloor to the Lake, that's the west core. And then the east core would be Young to the DVP, Bloor down to the lake. And if we look at those figures, you'll see that there are more condos in the west core, which is CO1, 229 versus 138 sales. Active listings, and again, 1146 versus 817. Average price slightly higher west of Young, 676 versus 652. Sales to listing price, which means if it's listed for 100,000, it's sold for 97% of that. So in this example, it would be 97,000. So these condos are selling at 3% below the last listed price on MLS. Keep in mind, some condos, or quite a number of condos, get readjusted, relisted, repriced, and the sales to listing ratio at the last listing price is 3% below ask. The days on market is pretty much similar, west and east of the core, at 37 and 36 days. Now, if you're a buyer, how do you position yourself moving forward? I'll give you a couple examples. I just saw a condo sell in the Queensway area, so just south of Hyde Park, right by the lake. 1+ den with parking, functional layout, and a functional den to set up a proper office. Again, with parking, sold for under $500,000. And that condo was just under 700 square feet. So there are opportunities for buyers if you financially qualify and you're ready to make that long-term commitment into real estate. On the flip side, I've seen a couple of homes, semi-detached, sell in the east end of Toronto, in East York, for under $1 million. Now, again, if you're a first-time buyer or a move-up buyer out of the condo space, there are opportunities for you to get into a house in the city, stop paying the maintenance fees, and own a piece of land for you to grow into. It's just a matter of figuring out if you financially qualify and ready to commit with respect to buying real estate and living there for a good 7 years to build proper equity and let the house appreciate with the mortgage paydown. If you are a current homeowner and have outgrown your space and looking to buy that larger family home that you can grow into, that window is starting to close depending on the locations, the neighborhoods you're looking to buy into, because neighborhoods with good schools are seeing strong demand. So it depends on your financial situation. Again, it all comes down to finances and job security and qualification. If you're in that position where you can make a move, this is your time, because again, the neighborhoods with good schools, accessible to transit, you can walk to local shops for coffee, restaurants, culture. Those houses are moving fast. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, this is your opportunity to take advantage before more buyers come back into the market, potentially as we head into the fall market. Watch this video right here if you want to see 5 houses that sold for under $1 million. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.